Hi, this is Jason Sherrill with iNet Solution. Today I'm going to show you how to get up and running quickly with MemberProtect. What we're looking at right now is the opening screen of the automated MemberProtect installer. In addition to the MemberProtect DLL itself, we also provide you with a starter website package that includes a user manager, an organization manager, role manager, basically everything that you need to get up and running. It includes the full source code as a Visual Studio solution in C#. So the first step is simply to leave the default selection and click Next. Now we need to set up our MemberProtect SQL database. This uses SQL Server 2005 or greater, and what this will do is create the database schema, the data structures necessary to hold your MemberProtect data. You can also use this for your application database, or you could create a separate database to hold your application data. So we're just going to enter our server data now, and here I'm going to choose just regular Windows authentication. You could also choose SQL Server authentication, and you need to make sure that you provide a username and password here that has the proper privileges to be able to create databases on your SQL Server. Assign a database name. Now we provide you the opportunity to create a default user in MemberProtect. The installer will automatically create this user. We're going to go ahead and create a user called admin, and the password we'll make admin. Now we need to know where you want to output the files. So we'll go ahead and put these in our inetpub www root folder for now. Give it a name. Now we need to select our MemberProtect license file. You can do this manually later by simply copying the file that you've downloaded into your application folder. But by selecting it now, the installer will automatically copy it for you. And now we're going to assign a namespace for the application that the installer will automatically build. Now we just need to verify our information. Everything looks good. And now when we click Go, the installer is going to automatically create our database, create our first MemberProtect user, and then output the sample project into the folder that we selected. You can see this typically takes 1 to 2 minutes to complete, sometimes quicker if you're doing everything on a local machine. We can see now that everything's complete, so now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the files that it created. So open this folder, and we can see now, here's the destination directory that we selected, and now the installer has created a Visual Studio project for us. Now before we open this project in Visual Studio, let's go ahead and configure our virtual web in IIS. We're just going to go ahead and create a new virtual directory under the default website. We'll call it My New Application. Give it the path where we output our files. And we want to go ahead and run this as an application. So we are finished. And now that's configured. So now let's go ahead and open this project. You can see these are the files that the installer output. Now one quick change that we want to make is, because we're running SQL Server on a remote machine here, and we're going to run this application under IIS, we want to update our web.config to change the connection string. You probably wouldn't need to do this if you're going to run everything locally. We are not running a trusted connection in this particular instance. So we're just going to go ahead and put in a connection string here. Okay, save that. Close this. Let's go ahead and build this project now. See, this should only take a couple of seconds. Successfully built. let's go ahead and fire it up. We can see it takes us to the default start page, where we just have some helpful getting started information. Now we want to look at the iNet Active system behind it, which is what helps you get up and running very quickly with MemberProtect by being able to create organizations, users, roles, and manage some of your site settings. You can see it requires us to log in. So we're going to go ahead and use the admin user ID and password that we created. And you can see now that we are in iNet Active. We've logged in as admin, and we have areas where we can manage MemberProtect organizations, which we've created a default organization in here. You can clear all of this data out if you intend to use this for any sort of production application, but our intention here is simply for learning purposes. We also have roles, which you can see right now we only have one role created, which is iNet Active Admin, which allows us access into iNet Active. And we only have one privilege in the system right now too, which is iNet Active Management. Privileges are something you as the developer can create and manage. And it's completely up to you how you create privileges for your system. Remember, MemberProtect is a framework, so we're not locking you into any specific design patterns that we have. It's up to you to create your own roles and privileges however you see fit within your application to meet your requirements. We also have the ability here to edit and add and delete users. And again, this is something that's up to you to control. You can create an unlimited number of user profile items. Right now we only have first name, last name, and email address. But it's completely up to you as far as how many you would like to create and what those types are. And also in the standard and enterprise versions, whether that data is encrypted inside the database at the column level. So for example, you may have a field here called account number, social security number, that you would want to encrypt, but for performance reasons you might want to leave first name and last name in plain text in the database. MemberProtect gives you the control to do that very easily from within the database, and that's covered within the tutorials that also come in the installation package. You can see we also give you the ability to control a number of the security parameters within MemberProtect out of the box, and currently these are all set to 0, but it's up to you to determine, for example, how many passwords you want to track for forcing people to change passwords and not reuse a previous password, how long to keep the MemberProtect logs, how long in days before a temporary password might expire. And then MemberProtect also supports SMTP email functions, since many applications need to trigger email notifications or automatic confirmations in the case of e-commerce sites or online banking sites. So you can configure those settings in here. For example, we might have a mail server listening on SMTP port 25 at mail.domain.com, and that's where our application would bounce all mail off of. We can also use authentication with those SMTP servers. So you would configure that here. Remember, all of the source code is available for this application. Our goal here is to get you up and running quickly, but also we encourage you to use this within your application. Obviously, the code itself cannot be resold or distributed, but you're able to use this in your own projects, and also as a learning aid to fully understand by looking behind the scenes at how MemberProtect works. Finally, I'd like to say thank you for downloading and trying MemberProtect. We always encourage feedback, welcome your feedback, whether positive or negative, and encourage ideas on how we might be able to improve MemberProtect to make it easier for you to use, whether you are in banking, healthcare, e-commerce, or even simple membership websites where you need to provide secure access to portions of your website and to protect your data from hackers and data theft. Thank you, and good luck.